Welcome to Hashtime with Navguzi Chwanuka. This is a place where we help you unravel social constructs, discuss self-development in line with mental health, emotional well-being, and everything in between that directly or indirectly affects us in the millennial world around us. If you're hearing my voice for the first time and are the kind of person who is not scared of being a better version of yourself even if it requires you to contradict who you were 24 hours ago, consider this your virtual home. I'm your host, Navguzi Chwanuka, and I cannot wait to engage with you in the various conversations. Bro. Okay. See, I need to be inclusive. I know I need to be inclusive. Now, let me tell you something. So, the very last episode that we had, prior to this one, I was a little bit not sure whether I would release another episode after the one that was released on 1st November. And that was because I was like, so should I go fully involved into the event, or should I balance the work on the podcast while also networking and engaging with everything that's going on with the event? And I was like, okay, I think I need to break routine a little bit and be fully present for this event. And the event I am talking about is the DCN Africa launch. So DCN Global has been existent for, oh my God, I don't know how long, but I had some people talking about how they had attended an event in Johannesburg in 2018, I think. So what happened last week was that that was between 7th and 9th. What happened was that we were the witnesses of the DCN Africa launch, and bro, so bro is widely used, so allow me, I'm just gonna push it out most of the time. So there were 35 countries. That is if I've not missed out on some countries that weren't counted, but 35 countries represented. And I don't know if I've shared this before, I'm terrible with crowds. And so I was like, oh my goodness, how am I supposed to have, at least a teeny weeny bit of a conversation with each and everyone? Because for me, it's very much about absorption of energies. I'm getting to see this person's face, have eye contact, have conversations, 1, 2, 3 conversations. And then it turned out that I couldn't do that in just how many days? 3 or 2 days? I couldn't do that with over 100 people. And I found myself in a position where I'm finding some people on Facebook sharing pictures of the event, and you're like, oh, you were there? Like, I did not see them. And I was a little bit skeptical. I was like, people might have noticed my, bad manners if, withdrawing from overindulging. But I was very happy when someone was like, I didn't see you, how come we're already friends here? I was like, no, I just landed on you yesterday and I saw you sharing pictures of the recently ended DCN Africa launch. So I had a few conversations. Of course, there are some episodes as well that are going to be rolling out of the beautiful people I met, and some that will keep coming in the next season. Because with this season, we can only count 4 weeks or 4 weeks. Let's give it 4 weeks because I missed this week. I missed last week. So we can count 4 weeks left for us to close season 4. But before we jump to the 4 weeks, I would love for you to hear from the organizers of the DCN Africa launch, why they chose Africa, and what they experienced, plus some of the few participants. I realized when I was editing that I did not get a chance to have a short chat with some of the guys to be included for this feature. So don't point fingers at me that that I'm not inclusive. Perhaps I should continue saying bro, because there are very many sisters that are represented here. Yeah, so I think without further ado, we can just roll in and we have a glimpse of what it was like at the DCN Africa launch that happened in Zambia. Yes, we were in Zambia and yeah, let's hear from the organizers of the event and some of the few participants. Hi, Mariana.
Hi.
Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Mariana Tanaya. I'm the communications director of DCN Global, and I'm coming from Greece.
Greece.
Yeah.
I'd never imagined of entering Greece, but
Yeah, and you know, Africa was in my bucket list, and I'm super excited. It's my first time.
It's your first time?
First time.
And Zimbabwe is there. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Rather Zambia. Oh my God! Sometimes the countries play me.
Yeah.
They are Zims. So you're here in Zimbabwe, and we have had
in Zambia.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, you're the one correcting me. I should be the one doing it. We're here in Zambia. Yes, we're here in Zambia, and we've had the DCN Global launch in Africa. What inspired you to come to, Africa? Choose Africa as something that is part of your DCN Global's program.
Yeah, actually, this year, the last 12 months, it's the year of expansion. We had our inaugural event for Western Hemisphere, DCN Americas. 3 weeks ago, we launched our regional chapter in East Asia and the Pacific. And in Africa, we had organized 3 forums. So there was a small community already here. So the next step, it was super important also to include Africa because we have members in our community from Africa already, and we would like to establish something more solid here as all the regional chapters that we have all over the world.
Yeah. And what other organizations' long-term goals in fostering digital communication in the African region?
For us, it's very important to create sustainable networks, to create communities that they work together, they collaborate. It's super important. That's why we have this survey, because we need to hear from you what are the needs, how we can collaborate. And these long-term, of course, we do a lot of activities like hybrid forums, trainings, hubs, media products, a lot of things like this. So long-term, we need to have here a vivid community of digital influencers and professionals in order to work together with us for our mission.
So based on your goals, and what you have experienced in the, I don't know how many days, 4 or 5?
4 days.
4 days. What do you feel?
I feel so emotional, really, because I saw the passion. You can feel the vibe, and I think that all you here, you're doing an amazing job most of the times under very, very difficult circumstances, and you do not lose your passion, your energy, your willingness to do the digital world a better place,
right,
which is very, very inspiring for me, very inspiring. So I'm super excited, and I trust that this community and this regional chapter will be one of the more successful.
Ooh, I look forward to the outcomes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mariana.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hi.
So you are. I know the part of Aura, but
Yeah, okay. So my name is Aura Kawanzarua, but everyone just calls me Miss Aura. And I am a DCN Global member, and I'm also head of education and development at Africa is Digital, and I'm from Zimbabwe. And it was really great being part of this particular DCN Africa launch. One, because I'm an African, and so it's really nice to have a global organization set up shop here. And I think secondly, also because I had a great privilege and pleasure to moderate and, get to kind of see this event from a bird's eye view in a weird sort of way. And so I was very anxious ahead of it. I was very kind of worried because I've seen DCN Global in many other countries, and I've seen how those have gone. So I really wasn't sure how Africa was going to go. I wasn't sure I was going to be received. I was just curious to see how are people going to. So not really anxious in a negative way, but I was just curious to see how are people going to receive it and how people are going to respond to the work that DCN Global is doing. So I was really thoroughly and pleasantly surprised when I realized that, people are keen and people really want to do this. And I think my key takeaway, what I really loved the most, is how it was such a real conversation. We had so many real conversations. There was no fluff. There was no pretentiousness. We had 34 countries represented.
I think 35. I had something like
35. About 35 countries represented. And, it was so weird to realize, like, okay, we're pretty much all going through the same problems. And the same wins, let's say the same wins as well, because it wasn't all negative. But I think it was really, really good to realize that, we are truly a community. And it was so nice to see culture take center stage. It was so nice to see a general feeling of Ubuntu. It was just vibes, you know what I mean? Like, I think one of my favorites, and I don't know if anyone else said this, but one of my favorite moments from this event was at we went for a safari on Tuesday, and there was a gentleman whose wife had surprised him for his birthday and had got him a birthday cake, and everyone from our group, like all the Africans, joined in and started singing for this guy. Oh wow, it was beautiful. It was it's still probably one of my favorite moments, and that it just showed who we are. That moment was so reflective of who we are as a people, and it was as if everyone was going up to him now. Oh, Dad, happy birthday! It was like we were just
a couple that had the same clothes on.
Yes, the couple that were wearing matching outfits. And it was so sweet. And even when they were leaving, everyone was giving them hugs and high fives and giving well wishes. It was so real to me. And that's like my favorite. I know I should probably say, I really liked that, talk about what. But I really loved that moment because it was so reflective and it was so cross country. Like it was like, wow, we are all the same. We really do approach life very differently. And I think I felt that spirit trickle into, the actual day 1 and 2 of the conference. Just that sense of togetherness, that sense of we care about what we have to say. And everyone was really passionate about what they were doing. So to avoid taking over your podcast, that was really, it was great. I'm really happy that I got to be a part of this. Really grateful.
And you moderated perfectly. And at some point when you came down for us from the restaurant, you're like, you guys want me to talk alone?
Yeah. Do you guys just want me to stand on the stage and talk to myself?
That was an interesting. Hi.
Hi. My name's Maggie Mwamba and I'm from Zambia.
Yes, Maggie. It's nice to hear from you. How has attending this event impacted your professional or personal life?
Well, attending the DCN event has impacted my life in so many ways. For instance, we talked about global technologies and so forth. So, for instance, I can explain. I've learned about how I can implement and also focusing on technologies and how I can also help others, not only myself, but also others, including the communities. Sensitization, healthy, also how to broadening the network and technologies.
And if there is any event, another event from DCN Global, do you think you're going to come back for it?
Wow! Oh, I wish it could have been extended. It could have been extended.
We're going to
now I'm looking forward to the next one.
Let's write a petition so that they extend it.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Gifty Tracy Aminu. I'm from Ghana, the Black Stars of Africa. And this is my first time here. DCN brought me. And it's been a wonderful experience so far. I've learned a lot. I've really learned, and I think it's going to be very useful in my field of work. Especially, I'm glad that we are talking about misinformation and disinformation and what it can do to us as Africans, how it can undermine our fragile democracy. So it's good we are all here, not just journalists, but people from different backgrounds and different expertise, bringing together for us to brainstorm on things we can do to improve our democracies and sustain our peace and security. It's been very fruitful. I love it. I love every bit of it. The workshop, the presentations, panel discussion. It's been very fruitful. And I look forward to something closer or more of this.
Something
in the
closer
future.
or more.
Yeah.
So in case they had any event of this kind, you would definitely return.
Of course, I'll jump onto it. So far as I'm able to share what I know and to learn from others, we learn every day, and I'm always available.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Okay, my name is Prosi Kawala, and I'm from Uganda. I work with the Center for Media Literacy and Community Development, and I'm in the space of media and information literacy for young people, for participation, for communities. And it was exciting for me to be part of this conference and talking about digitalization in Africa, how we can harness the digital revolution, how we can be resilient about the digital future, actually now and the future. And I think for me, these are conversations that are very important for us on the African continent. Because we can see where the world is going. Before you are accustomed to one digital solution, there is another that has already come on, and it is important that we come up as people on the African continent to discuss how this revolution affects us in our personal lives, but also in our workspaces. So it was interesting to see that over 100 people come in one space, and we share these ideas and see what are the best practices around the continent, but also the challenges, because it's most the challenges that are keeping us in the back. They are keeping us from being part of the global, village. And these are the things that we need to see how to take forward.
So to add on the other participants' expressions or views or experiences of what the DCN Africa launch felt like for them, now this really feels like an overdose of feminine energy for this. I'm so guilty, but bear with me. But to top it up, I really, really, really loved the depth of the conversations that were scheduled for the event. And I think, oh my God, there was so much going on. And I don't know if I'm just a slow learner or every other person experienced this, but it felt like an overload of information. There was one conversation going on, and just as soon as the conversation ends, there is another one starting, and you're like, I'm gonna run crazy, because at what point am I gonna process this? But I'm grateful that there was an option of availing us the presentations in soft copy. So there is a chance for me to roll back on some of the conversations that I really, really, really enjoyed. And I hope that I'll be having conversations with these specific people, because there is no reason as to why we should be withholding this knowledge. When I experience something, I know for sure that you know me for sharing everything that I believe would work for you in your ability to transform your life. And with that said, I'd like to say asante, thank you, Moevalinyo about DCN Global for sharing with us this opportunity to experience DCN on the continent. Digital Communications Network is the full word for DCN, and I hope that you will be as excited as I am to join the community. It's a global community, and for the African community, I would really, really, really be happy to see you there and learn and make use of the digital networks in a more helpful way. We're here for thriving. We're here, bro. When I talk about thriving, I had forgotten to talk about the books. So Thrivease. I think this is another time. We shall have more conversations on that. But I can't contain this. So I can't extend this. I've gotten great support for the Thrivease launch, and by the Thrivease launch, I think for those that do not have a single awareness, especially those who are listening into the podcast for the very first time, I launched a mental health product line to be a compliment. I think I should call it a compliment for those that understand English better. Perhaps they could correct me in the usage of the right word, but for now I'll call it a compliment of Nabo Network, where we have the podcast and then Thrivease and then the mental health garage. So for the Thrivease mental health product line, where we're finding ways to thrive with ease and be able some people say thrivers, and be able to thrive in life and cope with the stress or whatever life throws at us in a much easier and adaptable and healthy manner. That is what we want to achieve for every one of us. We can't be the same, I know, but we can try to make life easier for ourselves. So yes, the very first products under the product line have sold out. Oh my god, the very first batch of coloring books, both for the kids and the adults, have sold out. I really wanted to release a product every other week, but I think that is too much information. So I think we're just going to use this month for one product, and I'm going to be releasing the second batch of the coloring books this week. Don't panic. For those that hadn't gotten their copies, don't panic. You're going to start getting your copies come this Friday. So again, thank you to DCN, because I met Sales actually. I met Sales at the event. I didn't make so much noise about it because, again, I didn't get to interact with so many people. But I'm very, 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 very proud that my roommate, when the moment she saw them, because I was going to make a delivery in Zambia, there was someone who was waiting for her coloring books in Zambia. So when my roommate saw me carrying them, she was like, "Is that a coloring book I want?" I was like, broski. So thank you so much, Demi. And DCN, again, thank you so much for bringing me Demi. She was just it. Every other person that I interacted with just gave me hope for a better Africa. And yeah, we can close this episode. Thank you so much for sitting in with me to the very end. And if you loved this episode, if you still want to hear my voice, there's some more conversations, over 100 episodes that you can catch up with before we come back next week for better and more enjoyable conversations. Because how best can we close season 4 without a whooping what? It's nothing. We're not hooping anything. But if you love this conversation, do me a favor and hit your subscribe button in your podcast platform of choice. And if anything resonated with you in the conversation, especially those that were present at the DCN Global Africa launch, if you're present for the DCN Africa launch, I would really love to hear from you if anything resonated with you, or if there is something that was not shared, because not all voices were captured here. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say I'm sorry, but I think I should, especially for not being able to catch up with some of the guys. But if anything resonated with you, I would love to hear from you. Yeah. Share it on social media, tag us. We are at #WithNavGuzichWanka on Facebook and Instagram, and on X our handle is at HTNK Podcast. You can also use the hashtag HTNK Session. Ciao.